up, Dog Nation? You want to talk about a coachable Before the Hedges live Zoom guest? I didn't even have to tell my man Jalon Walker to retweet it on his feed. And Jalon Walker, we're live on DawgNation. We're live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Of course, this thing is all brought to you by Kroger. It will become our Before the Hedges podcast. That was the theme music. We're still going again. So it becomes our podcast on DawgNation.com. It's called Before the Hedges. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Jalen, how's everything in wonderful, I guess, wet North Carolina this afternoon?
Right. Yeah, everything's great. The weather's, not too good over here, but, I'm ready to go out tomorrow to play. So.
Yeah, that's right. See, it's still kind of COVID rules right now, and we've got COVID rules right now in North Carolina still. I think 50% capacity. I think we have games at 6:45, games on Thursdays a lot. That makes for a shorter work week, doesn't it, Jalen?
Yeah, it does. We gotta do what you gotta do to play. So
we've got a few things we want to get to right now. First of all, we want to talk about lots of things with Jalon Walker. Jalen obviously just committed to. It's funny. I've got feedback in my ears right now. Everybody's wondering why Jeff's a little jumping around everywhere. That's why I got things going on in my ears. Anyway, Jalen, excited to get you guys to get a chance to talk to him today. Recent Georgia 2022 commit. I got to hang with him a lot this weekend in Salisbury, North Carolina. I saw the Dairy Queen. I haven't talked to Jalen about the Dairy Queen in Salisbury yet. Folks, we saw gargoyles or classic Roman architecture on the side of the school. It literally looks like something out of a horror movie that's 47 feet up on his school. Yeah. I think the building was built in like 1844 or something like that. Jalen, you've been a Georgia Bulldog for 2 or 3 days now. What's the best post-decision memory you've had so far?
Right. Just the whole, encounterment of leading up to the decision time. That whole day, the whole decision was great. I got to spend time with many teammates, many coaches, many family members, just all of us together at one time. It was really great.
Yeah, folks, I was at that, I guess we call it an after party. And if anybody's tried to buy any Georgia material on partycity.com or amazon.com, it's out of stock.
Right.
It's out of stock. There was literally, I would think that the Greater Charlotte Georgia Bulldog Club now has about 100 members of the Jalon Walker family there. There were personalized water bottles. There were Georgia cups. There were Georgia plates. There were Georgia table mattresses, table napkins. There was red and black popcorn. I think there was Chick-fil-A platters galore. I tell you, your mom, Lashika, went all out. Did you think she was going to do this much? There was everything there.
I think every celebration we do, we go all out. You go big or go home. That's what it is in the family right now. You go big or go home. We do this for every event.
So, guys, you know the rules. I'm gonna basically talk to Jalen about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna ask the questions. If you guys are just jumping into this story that you want to get a chance to know, I got to do my buddy a solid here too, and I'm gonna try to do my buddy a solid here. And if you guys want to follow him on Twitter, it is and I think we got a little juxtaposition of some. Of the W and the A, is it at JALON WLAKER? Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
So follow, folks, you're going to want to follow him. This guy's only going to have like 300 tackles in the next 3 or 4 years at the University of Georgia.
Right.
So it's at JALON WLAKER. And then the gram, it's funny. Everybody gets down on the gram now. That's kind of like new school. Jalen, what's your address for Instagram?
Instagram is Jalon_Walker.30.
What's 30 for? I don't know the answer to that. Was that just what Instagram gave you?
No. Actually, at my school, we have a whole group, everybody has their own little thing, but 3-0, just the thing for us, my friend group, my classmates, we all just 3-0.
Everybody's 3-0.
Right.
So Jalen, I guess the thing everybody wants to hear is why Georgia? I mean, I even had this question with you. I remember talking to you about it. And
right.
if I was a time traveler and came back to the future in 88 miles per hour, and I said months ago, Jalen, you're going to go to Georgia, right? You'd be like,
yeah.
How did Georgia go from right in the mix with North Carolina and Clemson to the team to beat?
Right. Coaching staff. One thing, the coaching staff is great. Coach Muschamp, Coach Lanning, Coach Smart, Coach Schuman. They're all great defensive staff. They all have that great bond. Everybody on the defensive staff has the great bond. They have a lot of things working for themselves right now. I feel like they're going to have a really great season this year. All the people that are there now, all the people that came out of Georgia that were under them being coached, just great atmosphere from those guys. I just feel all the love in the world from those guys. And I really think that's one of the best coaching staffs in America.
Just a great fit. I mean, it seemed like to me from our conversations, Jalen, that every time you hung up for the FaceTime or a Zoom or a call, Georgia's relationship with you got maybe 1 or 2% better, right? Is that basically the way it was?
Right, it really was.
And I think what was funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, it really was. I really enjoyed it, every last bit of it.
So you guys need to know this. This is how hard Georgia's recruiters get down on this. So I think Jalen dropped his commitment at it, and probably what was it, the end of February?
Right.
It was like committing on March 28th.
Mm-hmm.
And the story that's been relayed to me is that I think it was Mr. Schuman basically talked with you and your family, and he's like, all right, we got 28 days. All right, let's go to work.
Right.
And I think Georgia sent you an edit every day for 28 straight days. Am I correct on that?
You are correct. It was called Why Georgia.
Edits?
Right. It was called Why Georgia.
And what was all in those things, man?
The best reason why to pick Georgia, they gave all information, facts, things that you would know and things that people really don't know about the program, the academic program. What about the stadium, about the people, the culture of Athens and University of Georgia?
28 days. Did any other school do anything like that 28 days in a row, Jalen?
I don't think so. 28 days. I got it every night, came out of practice, that's what I saw, the Why Georgia edit. So.
Wow. That tells you how much they wanted Jalon Walker in the fold. Now, Jalen, I think you already started. I heard you got the VIP card to the ultra exclusive 22 commitments group chat. What has it been like there, being in the group chat for a couple of days now, man?
Yeah, I feel like, it's really good. All those guys, welcoming me overall, getting the chance to speak to those guys personally. Just really cool thing, meeting, getting great relationships and everything. So
I think a story that I want to bring to everybody's attention is, Jalen, you I don't know whether you and Malachi were bouncing things off of each other, but you guys had somehow ironically put your commitment dates right next to each other. And ironically, you guys both had Georgia and Clemson way, way up there on the list. And then you guys just started vibing with each other. I don't know if either one of them said, I'm going to go here, you should go here, let's both go here. But it was basically a lot of, this is what I'm seeing, what are you seeing? Let's compare notes. Is that the way it came about?
Yeah, it did. Me and Malachi, we hit it off. I reached out to him, hey, what we going to do? I feel like I can't go to a university by myself to be great. I have to have the best teammates to be with me to be great. So.
What are your impressions of Malachi? I mean, he's solid gold, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's a great guy, all around, humble person. Right now, I think the world of him. I think he's just going to be really successful going in, playing together. We're just going to be really successful going in with each other. So.
All right, guys, here's a quick reset. I'm Jeff Sintel, the intrepid reporter for DawgNation.com. This is our Wednesday night show before the Hedges. Jalen, I don't know if I've told you this, but he's got a 4-0, so he's going to figure this out really, really quickly. When you're playing at Georgia in Sanford Stadium, Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. It's called Between the Hedges. So
Right.
when you are a player on the way to play Between the Hedges, we have a show where we talk all things recruiting live every Wednesday night. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitch.
Right.
It's before the hedges because
Right.
you're before you get between the hedges. I want to say thank you to everybody, Facebook and YouTube, for joining us. Our show is brought to you by those wonderful folks at Kroger. Facebook, if you have a question for Jalon Walker, drop it in the comment section. The same thing for our friends at YouTube. I'm going to ask him a couple more Reporter Jeff questions. Then we're going to let you guys ask him some questions. And then, just because we've got All-American Jalon Walker in the house, we're going to revive an old Before the Hedges tradition. We're going to play an old-fashioned game of DawgNation six-pack. He's going to get 6 questions with Jalon Walker. And then Jalon Walker we're going to have 6 questions about Jalon Walker. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a whole lot of fun. And I know this man can ad lib on the fly and read and react and redirect. He's very fast on his feet.
Right.
But Jalon, I think the thing I want everybody to know about you, and I was like, when I first started talking to this kid, here's what came up. Very respectful. When he says he's going to be talking to you at a certain time, he makes that certain time, or he gives you a great reason why. He's energetic. He talks to me like I don't know, maybe I'm Rihanna, maybe I'm Kobe Bryant, maybe I'm LeBron James doing the interview. He treats everyone, and I've heard this from guys that cover other sports and other schools. They're like, man, that Walker kid is amazing. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, he really is. And so he has great parents. I saw his great family. I saw almost all the Walker clan this weekend. The son of a college head coach at Catawba. Curtis even told me a funny story. He was kind of dry with it initially because Curtis went to a school. That's the same school which produced Jamie Newman. They had a modified Power G. They had kind of red and black colors. And he thought, he ended up going to be I think a Division II All-American at Catawba, the school where he coaches at now. But he always thought if there was one school he could go play at in the big boy world, he wanted to go to Georgia. Now,
Right.
And Curtis said, it's not my decision. It's my son's decision. It was such an awesome thing for a parent to do.
Right.
But then somehow that was lodged in your head a little bit, where the school that your dad had to at least dream of a little bit, that ends up being the school you go play for. Do you think that is kind of full circle cool a little bit? That's how it went, the way it all worked out?
I do. He mentioned that actually way before my recruitment, not even before my first offer. He mentioned that way before, how if he had the opportunity to go attend the University of Georgia, he would. And, going throughout the week, leading up to the week, I'm like, yeah, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Go represent my family, and especially him, being under him for so long, him being a 3-time All-American in college, just going to be another maybe 4-time All-American myself, depending on how I play at the University of Georgia.
So this is cool. He said meant to be. Now, I don't think anybody in the world knows this story. I'm going to write it when I do one of our Sunday special stories on Jalon Walker. But down low, he was kind of starting to feel Georgia a little bit. And then he was thinking about making trips to the other finalists. I think he had a weekend trip planned to Clemson, and he had a weekend trip planned to North Carolina. And yet something always came up, right? And it was that something, and we don't need to go into details of what came up, but there was a situation where I think you had a recent injury, and that was and then the next week there was another. What did you think about all those series of circumstantial events kind of still pointing you in the right direction?
Right. I thought it was ironic, throughout my process, I asked God to show me signs, and I think he was leading me in the right direction of putting these obstacles in my life to recognize the real goal that I'm supposed to be achieving and getting to. So
it's funny. It's funny how that works out in the age of pandemic recruiting. I mean, folks, he has never met face-to-face a Georgia football coach yet. He's never been to a game. He's never probably been in the locker room. I know you took that self-guided tour for the Vanderbilt weekend where you got the bookstore tour.
Right.
It's funny. He shared this picture with me, and it's him next to the mannequin. I'm so used to seeing 6-year-olds next to the mannequin and not the player bigger than the mannequin posing next to the mannequin. But that was his picture with the jersey. I mean, you're going to finally, I guess in June when you visit, put the jersey on.
Right.
Jalen, I got to ask you this one. What's the jersey you want to put on? What's the first one you're going to put on? If you have the choice of the white and the red pants, or the white jersey or the black jersey, which one are you going to put on? Or the red jersey?
I think I have to go with the classic red jersey. The red jersey is just undefeated, and the new edition of the black and red, the black and white jerseys this year, and those are really good too as well. But I like the black one. If I had to put them in order, it'd be the red, black, and then the white.
There you go.
Right.
And I think this is the classic story about Jalon Walker. I will remember this when I write my book on recruiting one day. He says, I want to be an eventually he started off with biology and then dentistry and then orthodontist. Folks, I'm not making this up. We've reported it before. We've put it on video before. I want everybody joining us tonight to know this as well. This young man here, an All-American linebacker who probably has a vertical somewhere around 40 inches, 38, 40 inches or something like that. He wants to be an orthodontist. He wants to have a life of rubber bands and brackets.
Right.
Can you imagine this gentleman? I can see him now in like a bow tie and a white shirt, leaning over these kids one day when he's like 40, 47 years old. Right. And the hands are going to be like this in your screen. Jalen, where does that come from? I love the story. Absolutely love the story. What's the genesis of you being tickled to death to be an orthodontist one day?
Right. So I actually had braces going through the end of my 7th grade year, the whole year of my 8th grade year, and I got them off the end of my 9th grade year. And I thought it was just so fascinating how the whole process goes of teeth being moved and just the whole process of having braces. And, I've actually surrounded by plenty of dentists. My friends' parents were dentists. I think I have 3 friends that I've been going to school with till now. And actually the one Georgia soccer commit, is actually her dad is a dentist as well. Going through so many years of school, just having those people around me, just seeing those people work and being my own people working on my own mouth, just so interesting to me. And I just thought, to make other people smile, why not help them? So
he means every word of that, every stinking word of that. And you know what's funny? If you're in Charlotte right now on this feed, I think somebody needs to give you a slap on the back, give you an attaboy, give you a helmet sticker, because somehow Salisbury's about 40 miles away from Charlotte Metro, probably 35 miles maybe. And you've got Jalon Walker, number 50 player in the country. I think that the ratings would go up if people got to see him play more, or he went to one of those prima donna camps or the showcase camps. He's just that type of athlete. I'm going to tell you this, guys. When I see players for a living, it takes a lot for me to sit there and go, whoa. I think the first time I saw Jalen in person, he was walking across the parking lot, and I was like, okay, I'm used to seeing All-American football players all the time covering the University of Georgia, but there's something about the sleekness and the confidence and just the way a premier athlete looks like. I don't think Georgia signs maybe about 4 or 5 guys that really give you that little, eyeballs up type reaction that Jalon Walker does when you meet him in person. He's definitely the real thing. But Jalen, I think he would probably be, top 20, top 25, 30 player. He's that type of athlete, but wants to be an orthodontist when all this is done. He's got his 40-year plan, and that's great. And I wanted to make sure you guys really heard that story. We've got a bunch of questions, got a bunch of comments too. Precision Lawn Service. We have businessmen that are watching us. They just say they're ready to see you unleash havoc between the hedges.
Oh yeah.
Keith Simmons wants to know, we've got 19 questions like this, Jalen, so I'm going to kind of combine them. They want to know, are you going to recruit other great players to Georgia? Let's combine things. 1, what are you going to tell them? And then 2, who's on the wish list? Who's the guys that you're already talking to that you think would look great in red and black too?
Right. I do plan to recruit. I plan to put on my recruiter hat going now throughout the year, till signing day. And I plan to, bring in, Travis Shaw, another big in-state player, defensive tackle, just a straight monster. I feel like he just fits so well, at the University of Georgia. Keon Sav is another guy. He's a safety, great dude. Met most of those guys, Jahad Campbell, all those guys are just great athletes. Dalen, Everett, just great guys overall. Made great relationship with those guys, but it'd be a really great opportunity to just go play with these guys at the University of Georgia. So.
It's funny now. He can probably brag with his dad. Like, I'm a better recruiter to Georgia than, his dad recruits to Catawba, and he'd be like, come on, Dad, this is my first year. Now I've already got three guys coming with me. I know that's a family that thrives on competition. Gotten a lot of positive comments. Kyle Hendricks says, what's up, Jalen? Glad you're a dog. DM Mark 42 says, yes, exclamation point. This is what I've been waiting for. Jalen's post-commitment interview really impressed me. Couple of these, I like this. Derek Smith, he's been listening. He says, Jalen, are you ready to crack some teeth? And he gave a tooth enamel emoji.
Right.
Everybody's listening. They know what's up. Mike D has a question. Jalen, what defensive players do you study or look up to?
I feel like the Isaiah Simmons going throughout my year really worked into my playing style, what I do at my high school now. I'm played 3 positions this whole year, actually. I played inside backer recently. Outside backer is where I'm normally at. And I actually played safety. I feel like I'm a on-field threat. I feel like every week somebody has a different game plan against me, to box me in or to just cancel me out the game. But I find a way, after looking at that first and second series, I talked to my coach and I'm like, hey, I got to find a way to get in. I just can't let them just run away from me the whole time. Going throughout my coach, great coach. I've known him for years before high school. He's just a great help to me. He understands the whole process of everything of me getting to where I need to be and making plays on and off the field. So,
Jalen, I find with a lot of great players, the All-American types at linebacker, the guys are so fast that eventually pretty good football teams, if they've got good personnel, maybe not like SEC personnel, they just decide they're going to come at you rather than you chase everything down backside. Is that what you're seeing a lot of? What are most people trying to do? They figure they can at least go at you and get a couple of yards rather than you hawking everything down across the field?
Right. Some teams, they come at me. They try and they see what I'm really made of. And, I feel like that's something they'll regret going in the first couple of plays, because when it first happens, like, oh, yeah, it's real deal. And they try to run away. But, I find some way to hawk them back down. So
a key thing there, he's rated as an outside linebacker. I think Georgia's preferences, from all things considered, is they see him as inside backer, maybe first and second down. And then he could kind of just roam, be whatever. Maybe it's a star, maybe it's play out on the edge. He can rush the passer. He's just got that skill set and that tenacity. He knows what he's doing. He's a sharp. It's almost a cliche, Jalen, where when you're a coach's kid, you can't have bus, right? You can't loaf, right? You can't forget your helmet, right? I mean, otherwise you're going to hear it, right?
Right. My dad, I've seen it all with his players, and just me seeing it throughout the years. It bugs me. It bugs me to see people, walk off the field. Like it's just in my blood of a coach, just in my blood right now.
Jalen, you've already done it. It's very rare we can get this, but a lot of the caliber, the content of the character of these young men that Georgia's recruiting right now, folks, I see a clear difference. I don't think that there have been 5 guys that Kirby Smart has recruited to Georgia with the ability, the out of this world ability, and the out of this world team captain type ability that they're stacking together in this class. Malachi's a guy like that. Jalen's a guy like that. I think Big Bear Alexander's a guy like that. Gunner's definitely a guy like that. You see anchors of a locker room, anchors of a program. And folks, let me just say this, the very best ambassadors of a program go to SEC Media Days. You don't need me to tell you. You could figure this out the first 5 minutes of looking at it. That this fella right here, let me make sure I get my sides right. That fella right there, he's a guy that would probably show up at SEC Media Day one day for Georgia. And I'm sure you guys all agree. A couple things, guys. If you like what's happening, like it, share it. Once again, our broadcast is brought to you by Kroger. I would say we're about at the halftime portion of our Jalon Walker interview. Jeremy Barbary has a good one. I think I know a couple of these. I don't know all these, Jeremy. He wants to know top 3 in your playlist. If we went to your phone right now and looked at most played on Apple Music or Spotify, I don't know what you use, probably Apple Music, but what's the top 3 songs? Not all time, because that's a huge question, but like right now, what are you listening to the most right now?
Right now, I really like Future. I don't know. I'm just a Future type of dude. I really enjoy his music, all aspects of it. I really like Pooh Shiesty coming out. You know, he gets me turned up before the games. And right now, I have to say, Moneybag Yo is really
Moneybag Yo.
Yeah, he's coming out with a new album soon, so I can't wait to listen to it.
So Jalen, I had about, I don't know, 630 miles worth of travel in the car going back and forth to see you. And I listened to Rod Wave. Have you listened to the new Rod Wave yet, man? That's pretty good, man.
I have. I actually listened to it on the way home from practice today. I think I know about half the songs on it. He's just a peaceful dude. You know, he speaks his mind. You know, I like people that speak their mind, don't hold all their emotions in, but he does it perfectly.
Yeah, no, it's like that one line where he's got, if this doesn't move you, then this song's not for you anyway. That's a great line. David Gappa says, truly one of the most articulate and mature recruits I've seen. Jeremy got a thumbs up because we got your question asked. David Gappa wants to know, is he also playing in the fall? What about enrolling early? David, that's an excellent question, because here's what Jalen's doing. And this is grown man football. He's going to play from March to December, even winning games. I think you're going to play maximum 20 games, 25 games, maybe. How many games can you play in the spring? And then you're going to play a full season in the fall, and then he's going to enroll early. How many games could it be, Jalen?
Right. So right now we are on our 5th game of the season. We're 3-2 right now at Salisbury High School football. We have 7 regular season games. And then, of course, I plan to be playing in the state playoffs, and we'll go to state playoffs, hopefully go to states and go win states. That'll probably be another 4 or 5 games. So that'll be 12, maybe 13. And then, you know, go back starting in the fall, and we'll go play another season. I think we're going to start playing a full season that fall, actually. So I'll play that whole fall season, and then going again, I'll early enroll in January, go play in the Under Armour All-American game, and then go to the University of Georgia and start spring ball.
Wow. Love these questions. We got so many questions. I got to go to Facebook now.
Right.
Facebook wants to know, Clarence Dawson wants to know, Jalen, what do you have in Madden? Who do you have on the sticks in Madden? Who do you play with?
I'm a Steelers fan. You know, I play with the Steelers. You can give me anybody. I feel like I'm a good Madden player. You know, I feel like I can put the playbook on the game and, you know, just play around with them and, you know, just win. So.
Let me see. A lot of people says this. Jerry Swafford says this class is looking so special. Tim Wilson has a question. Did Gunner's commitment help sell you to Georgia, or did you go like, oh, whoa, they're building something now? What impact did Gunner have on when he chose Georgia? I think you gave me a pretty candid response. You're like, oh, man, that was a big one. What was your reaction to the Gunner Stockton commitment?
When I saw that, you know, I thought it was a really big pickup by the University of Georgia. He's a great guy overall. You know, soon after he committed, you know, he reached out to me and he was like, hey, I would love to have you on the team. You know, I feel like the linebacker position is the quarterback of the defense, and why not have 2 quote unquote quarterbacks on the same team? So,
son of a coach, Jalon Walker, son of a coach, Gunner Stockton. Did you know he's the son of a coach? Did you know that?
I did not.
Yep. It's another little sign there. Sign there. I meant to put this on your trivia question that we're going to ask you. But this is just going to blow your mind. Gunner Stockton has a herd of cattle, about 20 cattle. He raises cattle, and do you know what a CB radio is, Jalen? Do you know what that is? He has a CB radio in his truck, or at least he used to.
I don't.
A CB is something, when my dad was growing up, it's something where before cell phones, it's like a radio. And you have an antenna on your car, and you can talk to people as you're going along. This was before cell phones, before bag phones.
Right.
And Gunner, isn't that a great name for a quarterback, Gunner Stockton?
It is. He has an arm. He has an arm. So,
I think he's thrown it like 64 yards in a game before. That's how far he's let one loose in a game before. Let me see. Jan Armstead says, I'm loving Jalen. He has a vision and a mission, mature for his age. Woohoo, go dog. And this is what I meant to say earlier. I've got so many questions just floating through here, but Jalen, there's a term, and we're going to make this a PG-13 show right now because that's what it is. We got kids watching. But one of the most revered things the Georgia faithful can say about a player is they will call you a DGD. and let's just going to say darn good dog.
Right.
And for Georgia fans, you could be an All-American, but above the All-American is DGD. That means you do things the right way. You play for the G on your helmet, and when you walked off the field, everyone know you gave your best for Georgia that day. That's certainly, I think you people watch him play, see his films already, even with a club on his hand. He certainly leaves everything. He's out there on the field.
Right.
Couple more questions. Now people are getting on to me because they're not through with the Rod Wave album yet. There you go. Jan Armistead makes a great point. I do think Sons of Coaches helps out a lot. So let's do this. Let me go back to YouTube and get a couple more questions. I know there were a bunch. I'm trying to give Mike D has a question. I don't think we've asked this one either. What defensive players have you studied or looked up to in order to build your game?
Right. I think we did answer this, but I'll answer just for him. Isaiah Simmons type of player, him going from the University of Clemson. You know, he was a great overall player, speed, high caliber athlete. The position I'm playing right now in my high school, him going through that safety, through the outside backer, through the inside backer, depending on game situations and things of that sort. So.
Yep, you did answer that before. I remember you gave the same Isaiah Simmons answer at that same time. Let's see. Now, Jalen, we're going to play. Now, let's see. Let's do this. You guys got questions? Drop them. Whatever you want to do. But let's kind of do six pack. Now, I want to. You're our guest.
Right.
Would you rather have me ask the fans questions about you first, or do you want to go on the hot seat and me ask you the questions first? What do you want to do? Whatever you want to do.
I'm feeling good today. Let's go on the hot seat. I feel like I could be in a hot seat today.
He's going to go on the hot seat. So he didn't get any Oklahoma drill today. He didn't get any bull in the ring. Nobody does that anymore. We want to talk about Jalon Walker. Now, Jalen, what we're going to do, the premise of this game is simple. You guys can follow along at home. If you guys have been old school watchers, back when we gave away those $50 gift cards for correct answers. What we're doing is we're playing six pack. This is on Hedges with Jalon Walker. And this guy, he's gonna make it look so easy. He's probably gonna go 6 for 6, just because that's just the type of things that Jalon Walker does. I'm gonna present to you, Jalen, a question. This first one's gonna have 4 possible responses. You're gonna tell me which one of these things is not true about Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
Jalen, first one, A. There is a tree in Athens that owns itself and the land 8 feet out in every direction. B, the last 5 men to serve as head coach at Georgia, including Kirby Smart, still live in Athens. C, the population of 124,000 triples on game days to about 360,000. Or D, all of the above are true. So think about that for a second. I want everybody that's following along at home, drop your answers in the comment section. I'll review one of them. A, there's a tree in Athens that owns itself, including the land 8 feet around it. B, the last 5 head coaches at the University of Georgia, including Kirby Smart, still live in Athens. C, the population of Athens is about 124,000. And it triples on game days to about 360,000. Or D, all of the above. All of the above are actually true.
D, yeah. I think D.
Jalon Walker's final answer? D. Picking D, right? Yep, that's right. There's a tree that owns itself. Have you heard that story yet?
I haven't, but I felt like I knew that, or somebody told me that before I went to go down to Athens. So.
There you go. Smart guy. He probably said, man, there's so many details around that. 8 feet around in every direction.
Yeah.
He's like,
after when you told me the answer choices, you gave me so many stats and statistics of things. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's going to be all the above.
It's a pretty good call that the school you're going to play for, the last 5 head coaches have decided to live there, even when they're no longer the head coach. And then wait till you see Athens, man. Wait till you see Athens on a game day. That's going to be like finding the girl of your dreams, You meet her, and all of a sudden you find out that her family's rich. They own the New England Patriots. They have property in the Caribbean. It's just like the story keeps getting better. Our second thing on the hot seat, and that's Jalen starting out fast, just like a football coach, starting fast, 1 for 1. Jalen, our second question: which one of these following things is not true about Sanford Stadium? Not true. A, Georgia is 25-1 at home dating back to 2017. That's Kirby Smart's second season. B, the Bulldog mascot has an air-conditioned doghouse inside Sanford Stadium. C, fans bark loudly every time the other team has to punt. Or D, there is a burial site and memorial for all the former Bulldog mascots which have passed away inside the stadium. Which one of these things is not true about Sanford? I'll go back. A, 25-1 at home dating back to 2017. The Bulldog mascot has an air-conditioned doghouse inside Sanford Stadium. C, fans bark loudly every time the other team has to punt. Or D, there is a burial site and memorial for all the former Bulldog mascots who have passed away.
I'm gonna have to say the barking on the punt. I've actually been when my dad played Georgia way back when he was at Coastal Carolina. I remember seeing the doghouse there in Stanford Stadium and seeing the Bulldog in it. So I'm gonna go with the barking.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, 2 for 2. he's like, come on, come at me with these questions before the Hedges, Coach. Number three. I hope some of you guys are learning something on the feed. I don't like, if we can educate anybody on our programs, that's what we really try to want to do. Number 3, Jalen, who is widely considered to be the greatest Georgia Bulldog of all time? A, Champ Bailey. B, Thomas Davis Sr. C, Todd Gurley. D, Roquan Smith. Or E, Herschel Walker.
In my opinion, well, I can't go off my opinion. This is a question, but I feel like people really see Herschel Walker as the all-time great at Georgia, being Herschel Walker. He's just a great athlete overall.
You're 3 for 3, Jalen.
Yeah.
And we obviously it's another last name Walker, so that you had to like the little spin we had here. But,
yeah.
Jalen, I'm sure you'll hear about this from fans. Herschel's legend is he was the slow, fat kid in class in grade school. His gym teacher told him, he asked, how can I get strong and fast? And the gym teacher said, do a lot of push-ups, do a lot of sit-ups.
Right.
He didn't say how many. Herschel took it literally and did about 1,000 push-ups and sit-ups every night. And the next thing you know, his legend was born.
Right.
3 for 3. Of course, Jalon Walker is going to get all these. He's going to get all these. Number 4. Which one of these NFL greats did not play at Georgia? A, former Super Bowl MVP and Hall of Famer Terrell Davis. B, wide receiver A.J. Green. C, wide receiver Calvin Johnson. D, quarterback Matthew Stafford. Or E, former Super Bowl MVP as well, Hines Ward. Of your Steelers, the Steelers team you brought out. Which one of those guys did not play at Georgia?
The wide receiver, Calvin Johnson.
Boo.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't tell him these answers. I could probably give him some sort of quadratic equations. I should give him some algebra. He'd be nailing these as well. He's like, come on, man. Come at me with double team or something like that in the A gap.
Right.
Number 5. Which college program is considered Georgia's biggest rival? A, Alabama. B, Auburn. C, Clemson. D, Florida. Or E, Georgia Tech. Florida. Everybody knows this. See, this guy right here, everybody knows. He already knows that question. I think before somebody commits, they got to say now you're going to have to beat Florida. That's I mean,
got to.
Number 6, and Jalon Walker is already 5 for 5, doing a typical Jalon Walker thing here. Okay. Which one of these statements is true about the University of Georgia? There are 35% more female students than male students at UGA. B, there are 465 buildings on the campus on 762 acres of land. C, there are approximately 40,000 students in both the undergrad and graduate courses at UGA. Or D, it is the best place in the country for a future All-American linebacker who wants to be an orthodontist one day.
D. It's D.
There you go. That's 6 for 6.
Right.
Drop the microphone. Now, folks, look what he just did right there. Now it's time for you guys to learn a little bit about Jalon Walker, and good luck doing a 6 for 6.
Right.
If anybody out here on this feed, and be honest, like your grandma's watching and your great grandma's watching, if anybody does this on the Jalon Walker portion of our 6-pack, if anybody goes 6 for 6, claim it and be honest about it. We're all friends here. Be honest about it, because Jalon just makes it look like somebody's throwing the screen pass his way for the 3rd time in a game, and he read it the first 2 times, and they actually tried to run it again. All right, now the topic here is Jalon Walker, where I ask everybody on the feed to tell me what they know about Jalon Walker. You guys been reading the DawgNation stories. I think I've written 5, 6 stories about Jalon Walker already. Our first one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask the question and go through the answers. We're going to let it marinate for a little bit. I'm going to listen to some guesses, and then I'm going to turn to Jalon, and I'm going to say, Jalon, give him the answer, man. Which one of these unique foods is actually one of Jalon's favorites to eat? A, gator meat. B, squid. C, veal. Or D, this is going to sound weird, squirrel. There's actually a current Georgia player that likes to eat squirrel. That's Ben Cleveland. I'm going to let everybody take a look at it. Mesmerize v. Gonterman. Wow, that's an interesting name. Mezmorise. Mesmerize. Gonterman. She has an answer for A. Tennille Kilcrease Calvino also has A. Slim White has A. Tim Wilson says C. Thinks you'd like to eat veal. Let me see what YouTube has to say. We've got we've got a lot of D's for squirrel. We got some veals. We got a squid. We got another squirrel. We got a lot of Jeremy Barbary says better be A. Jeremy Barber also says our DawgNation daily host Brandon Adams never got 6 for 6 when he did it, so he says you're already better than Brandon Adams. Jalon, what is the answer to that? Which one of these unique foods is actually one of your favorites to eat?
The answer is A. I love gator meat. I feel like when we beat Florida, all 3 or 4 years that I'm there, I will have gator that night. So.
Yep, that's a typical Jalon Walker answer right there. Nailed it perfectly. Perfect. Number 2. I mean, this guy, folks, this guy. Number 2, which one of these items were not at his UGA commitment day after party? Guys, listen closely to this because there's a lot. Like I said, Party City's out of Georgia stock right now. Amazon is. They got some people trying to rush orders. Which one of these items were not at his UGA commitment day after party? I think there were about 60 family members there, something like that. A, personalized commitment water bottles. B, 2 different types of fried fish. C, Georgia cups, napkins, and plates. Might have been heard that if you were listening earlier today. D, personalized UGA shirts for several dozens of members of family. Or E, a Georgia Bulldog cornhole set. Let me start off with Precision Lawn Service says, I love this guy already. Joe Tony says C, the cups, napkins, and plates. Dog Fan for Life says 2 different types of fried fish. Barbary also says 2 different types of fried fish. Poggi says personalized commitment water bottles. Got more fried fish. Got one answer here for Watt and Waits. about the cornhole set. Let me see what Facebook has. Got some A's, got some B's. Rodney White, Stephen Merck, Kathy Garner. Thanks to everybody for watching. What do you think, guys? We got some six-pack trivia just because we got this guy right here on the show tonight. Jalen, I've filibustered the topic enough, given a lot of people to come up with their answers. Sherry Hudson Braya also says fried fish. Jalen, what is the answer? Which one of these items were not at your UGA commitment day after party?
Right. The item was E, the UGA cornhole set. My family, I just feel like you do it big or go home, go big, go home for my family. So we had a great celebration of having different types of food, the different two types of fish as well. So.
Yep, it was great. It was great. I don't usually eat fried fish or fried food, but that looked so good. I saw the man dipping it in the driveway, and I'm like, yeah, got to live, man. That's why you get on the bike and you do all that cardio for afterward. You got to have reasons to do all that.
Right.
And somehow, if I know your wonderful sweet mother, Lashika, she's probably on Amazon right now ordering a Georgia Bulldog cornhole set for the party.
Right.
For the party. Number 3. This is a simple true or false question. Some people are 2 for 2, so they're already strutting a little bit. Number 3, true or false? Jalon Walker never had to run a timed 40 to earn one of his 40+ scholarship offers. True or false? Now, DawgNation Facebook, DawgNation YouTube, you got a 50-50 chance on this. First of all, I think it's a fascinating question in this modern age of college football for a young man with this many offers. Let's wait and see what people thinks about that. Tennille Kilcrease Calvino says you're still Southern, so that's why she went with the fried fish answer.
Yeah.
Everybody says I want some of that. Tim Wilson says I'm 0 for 2, but I actually have 2 sets of Bulldog cornhole sets. This is some good stuff, everybody. Jan Armistead says, man, you could have had my UGA cornhole set, man. Got Steve Rogers weighing in, Tim Wilson weighing in. Again, thanks guys for watching and hanging out. YouTube, going through lots of answers on this and lots of questions on this. I think most people have a consensus here. Jalen, what is the answer? Have you ever had to run a time 40 at a school or a camp to earn one of your 40+ scholarship offers?
I actually haven't. I don't feel like I need to run a 40. I feel like my speed on the field should display my speed on a 40 time. I feel like the only time I ran a 40 was with my dad, just to train on one, and then with my teammates, just for fun.
There you go. And it's funny, he camped for 3 years at Clemson. They saw his game speed. They saw his on the field speed, play speed. Jalen, I personally think doing this a while, I don't think 40s will be around 5 years from now. I think people will use those metrics where they look at your film, where they can now use analytics and figure out how fast you're running. I think I think that would probably be a better tool for people is how fast you are in games with pads on rather than anything else. So we got 3 questions. We got 3 more. Jalen has been a fantastic guest. I want to make sure we respect his time and maybe speed things up a little bit. Number 4, Jalen, I don't know if you know, I know this story, so this will be funny. Jalon Walker once dressed up as one of these for Halloween growing up. A, Spider-Man. B, a member of the Blue Man Group. C, Super Mario. Or D, Clifford the Big Red Dog. That would be very ironic if he dressed up as Clifford the Big Red Dog as a young Halloweener. He was actually born in South Carolina. Folks may not know this. He was born when his father was coaching at Coastal Carolina. I'm curious to see what are the answers going to be for this one. For again, you got Spider-Man, you got a member of the Blue Man Group, you got Super Mario, and you got Clifford the Big Red Dog. What does everybody think about that one? That was pretty funny, Jalen. Everybody talking about wanting to give you the cornhole set out of their basement. Thomas West says B, a member of the Blue Man Group. Nancy Shabazi says A, Spider-Man. Precision Lawn Service says C, Super Mario. Lots of people joining in. Trevor Bond says A, Spider-Man. Bill McConnell, that's another vote for D, Clifford the Big Red Dog. C, hopefully C. I guess a lot of people want to know the other story about it. If you were dressed up as Super Mario. Now this is funny. I'm going to get two more seconds, but I was a little bit of a trickster with this one a little bit because I think I wanted to help you guys out and have more people a chance to get maybe 3 or 4 out of these 6. I think a couple of these answers will apply. But Jalen, give us the correct answer as one of your Halloween costumes growing up. It might be answers or answer, but let everybody know what the correct ones are.
A member of the Blue Man Group and Spider-Man. So
there you go. Spider-Man. Blue Man Group. There's a good story about that Blue Man Group. We'll get into that another time. Number five. What does Jalon Walker want to be when he gets older? And if you guys missed this, I'm sorry, but you got to pay more attention in class. Maybe you should find another university to support that's not one of the top 20 universities in the country, because you got to pay more attention in class. If you miss this one, this would be like forgetting what the score is and not knowing what the score is in the game. What does Jalon Walker want to be when he gets older? A 2-time national champion at Georgia. B, a first-round draft pick. C, an orthodontist. Or D, all of the above. Hopefully you guys are playing along. This is one of those full circle knowledge type questions here. Precision Lawn Service drops a D. C drops, Bill McConnell drops C. Dog Fan for Life with a D. Got a lot of orthodontist questions. Remember, let's roll through them. What does he want to be when he gets older? A, 2-time national champ at Georgia. B, first round pick. C, an orthodontist. Or D, all of the above. Jalon Walker. What's the answer here for all these good people out here that are playing along?
I have to say D. Who wouldn't want to be a 2-time national champion at the University of Georgia, a first-round draft pick, and my favorite, being an orthodontist. So
there you go. You know, I'm going to tell you, when this name, image, and likeness stuff drops, Supreme Court's talking about this today. I was tweeting about it today. I had a thread on my on our DawgNation message board about it because I think it's pivotal for change in college athletics. But can you imagine this guy with an orthodontist anywhere? Oh my gosh. We're like teeing that one up for some orthodontic practice or whatever. I mean, he's got the Hollywood smile. He's got the charisma. But D, all the above, because he wants to be all those things. One thing I'll share a side note. The thing that really strikes me about talking to guys like Malachi and Jalen in this class is some of the first words out of their mouth when they talk about why Georgia is they say national championships. Now, Kendall Milton said that before. I'll give a lot of players credit, but it was scattered. It's almost consistent with a lot of players I'm talking to, including Gunnar Stockton in this class. The message, they're all in the same tone. It is winning a national championship at Georgia. It's not, All-American, All-SEC, give me 3 years and let me go shake Roger Goodell's hand in the first round. You're consistently hearing from these young men about championships. And for me, a guy that's been doing this for a while, that's a little bit different. It's a little more prevalent this year than in a lot of the years we've been around before. Number 6. And this one, Jalen's probably going to laugh at this one. I hope you guys have been paying attention as well. Number 6, what did Georgia assistant coach Glenn Schuman do that annoyingly impressed Jalon Walker in his recruitment? A, rocking his young son to sleep in less than 20 seconds. B, winning a bet that he knew all the words to the Cupid Shuffle. C, showing off his collection of more than 20 pairs of boots. Or D, telling him a story about Roquan Smith and pillows on road trips. And of course, you guys know that Coach Glenn Schuman is a recent father. His young son is very young, very cute and adorable on Twitter, also on Instagram. B, everybody knows him for those gray sweatshirts he wears all the time, even in 90-degree weathers. But you also have a couple more things. Winning a bet that he knows all the words to the Cupid Shuffle. C, showing off his collection of more than 20 pairs of boots. Or D, telling him a story about Roquan Smith and pillows on road trips. Let me see how smart everybody thinks they are, and if they've had their DawgNation.com library card. Reading about Jalon Walker over the last few weeks. Facebook, YouTube. Thanks to everybody for watching, by the way. This is our last part with Jalon Walker. Can't thank him enough for being a part of our show tonight, creating a memory. I hope everybody sees that number 11 flashing. Probably flash on special teams first, because that's just the way the guys get on the field quick. And then you'll start seeing him making plays for Georgia. Going to wear number 11. Number 11 will be available for him for the defensive side of the ball. If you guys were so impressed for him, I think before he gets to Athens, if you want to order that customized jersey, you guys can do that. But Jalen, that's me filibustering and giving everybody a chance to answer. Jalen, what did Georgia assistant coach Glenn Schuman do that unknowingly really impressed you during your recruitment?
Right. It was the answer of him showing me his collection of 20 pairs of boots. Very impressive. I thought it was very impressive. Any type of boot, he had it. It was just nice. I think he got some good style to himself. So,
Jalen, were all those cowboy boots, or were they like some sort of leather? Were they driving boots? Were they all just cowboy boots, or there were any Gucci loafers or anything like that? It was just cowboy boots.
Right, they were cowboy boots. They were cowboy boots. Just nice. He wears them on game day. With his suit. Just a nice look to him.
Glenn Schuman, son of a coach. You know that, right? Did you know Glenn Schuman was the son of a coach as well, Jalen?
I did.
Yep. There's a running theme. Guys, I want to say let's give us a big before the hedges. Everybody give a thumbs up. Everybody give a DGD, whatever you feel inclined to do. I just want to thank Jalen for taking some time to hang out with us today. Jalen, unfortunately, the fun part of my night is over. I've got to do another 20 minutes show after this, after I've just showed everybody one of their future favorite new players on the Georgia football team. Jalen, you are at liberty to dip out, go work on some more A's, go look at some more game film for tomorrow night's opponent. Sure want to say thank you for just being Jalon Walker and being one of the guys that makes my job a whole lot of fun. Jalen, you got anything you want to say to everybody before you log off and we start talking about the rest of the class now?
Right. Thank you for tuning in, welcoming me to the University of Georgia. I can't wait to get down there and just show off the G. Why not go win and represent the University of Georgia at the best of his ability. Go Dogs.
There you go, guys. That's Jalon Walker, an incredible addition to the University of Georgia and its football program. Hey, Jalen, tell your mom and dad I said hi, and your younger brother Deuce as well. Thanks for joining us, and have yourself a wonderful night, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. All right, folks, that is Jalon Walker. Jalon Walker. Tell you what, guys, this is the time of our show. Normally we go through a lot of things on our show. We just went so long with Jalen there. He was great with his time. We got to play a couple of games. You got to learn a lot about Jalon Walker. Let's do two things. We're going to do two things. First of all, as you know, our show is brought to you each and every week by Kroger. Let's take 30 seconds. Let's take a brief pause in our program. We're not going to go the whole rack of content after we normally do with, online chatter and things like that. We'll try to speed things up. But let's take a minute to have a quick word from Kroger, and then we'll come back with one more thing for you guys right after the break.
We'll get back to the show in just a moment, but first, a quick word from Kroger. Kroger has made shopping for the groceries and household essential items that you need even easier by offering free pickup. Just shop online, choose a pickup time convenient for you, and Kroger will carefully pick out your order and bring it to your vehicle when you arrive. So the next time you're ready to shop at Kroger, take advantage of the free pickup. It's just another way that Kroger is fresh for everyone.
All right, guys, that's fresh for everyone. And here we got, everybody's wondering, you guys are thinking out loud, this is a new week. We have a new top targets list. What's going to be fresh for everyone, just like Kroger, fresh for everyone this week is our top targets for this week. This would be version 3.5. Here's the big thing, guys. Number 1, and I think number 5 last week. Number 1 was Malachi Starks. He's off the board. Number 5, Jalon Walker. He's off the board. There was certainly a reason why those names are on that list for the longest of times. Let's go through really quickly the guys I feel that are the new top targets after the decisions made by 4 young men to Georgia over the last week since our last show. Number 13, we have 4-star offensive lineman Addison Nichols out of Greater Atlanta Christian. Still in the list. He's going to make his official visit to Georgia on the first week of June with all those offensive players. Number 12, 4-star offensive tackle Tyler Booker out of IMG Academy. That's another offensive lineman. He's also on the list as well. Number 11, we have 5-star safety Kamari Wilson out of IMG Academy. Remember, Kamari Wilson and Keon Sabb, who Jalon Walker mentioned in his comments of guys he's talking to. IMG Academy actually has 2 safeties, 2 5-star safeties in this class. I believe the number 1 and number 2 safeties in this class. And we've decided to put Kamari Wilson on this list at number 11 this week. Number 10, a name that's moving up. Wide receivers are so crucial for this class at the University of Georgia. Those difference makers, if you look at every elite college football team in the last 3 or 4 years, they've had an elite quarterback and they've had some elite passing weapons as well. 4-star Jalon Walker also taking his official visit that first week of June when official visits open up. Number 9, 4-star Traquan Fegans out of Oxford High, Oxford, Alabama. Great cornerback, big physical, lengthy cornerback. He's about 6'2.5". Also returns kicks for a strong program out of Oxford High in Oxford, Alabama. He's number 9. Remember we were saying about wide receivers? Well, number 8, we have a new name on the list. I think Georgia will be one of the 5 schools that gets an official visit for 4-star wide receiver Evan Stewart out of Liberty High School in Texas. Recently decommitted from the University of Texas, the Longhorns, and Steve Sarkisian's new program. This is a young man with over 1.5 million TikTok followers. Everybody on TikTok, Evan Stewart, most of the people that have a TikTok account that are Georgia Bulldog fans are probably following Evan Stewart by now. Evan is the number 40 overall prospect in the country. Incredible athleticism, great future potential. Think about another Arian Smith type athlete. Going to need some polish when he gets to the college level. That's why he's probably not a 5-star receiver as of yet. Number 7, I think you guys are going to be giddy about seeing this name on the list. Number 7, 5-star defensive tackle Travis Shaw, Grimsley, North Carolina, Grimsley High School. He's new to the list. To me, Jalon Walker has said consistently that's the young man that he wants to try to recruit to the University of Georgia the most. Debuts this week at number 7. Number 6, Jeremiah Alexander, former Alabama commitment, 5-star defensive end linebacker Jeremiah Alexander out of Thompson High School in Alabaster, Alabama. I think Georgia has consistently been one of his top 2 or top 3 schools. Something to watch there. He is not going to make his decision until after his senior season. Number 5, we got the 5-star defensive tackle Walter Nolan moving up again this week. He's out of St. Benedictine and Auburndale in Cordova, Tennessee. Walter Nolan, nation's number 1 defensive tackle for both Rivals and 24/7 Sports. He's number 1 on the 24/7 Sports composite. You guys also got a chance to get some video when we had our one-on-one interview with him from the Under Armour Atlanta camp. Number 4, name that's moving up, Oscar Delp out of West Forsyth, Cumming, Georgia. That's the nation's number 1 tight end. Oscar Delp will also be in that group that makes their official visit on the first weekend in June. Gunnar Stockton will be there. Jalon Walker will be there. Addison Nichols will be there. And also number 3 on this list, Kojo Antwi will be there. Lambert High School, Swanee, Georgia. Delp and Antwi are definitely buds. They play each other. They play with each other in the same 7-on-7 team, that well-respected Hustle Inc. 7-on-7 team. They also hang out with each other all the time. They are the best of friends in nearby communities there in Forsyth County. Number 2 on our list moves up another notch. That is Branson Robinson out of Germantown and Madison, Mississippi. Top 5 running back. I think he's the ideal running back choice for Georgia in this class, even after they pick up Jordan James, the 4-star out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, earlier this week. Branson Robinson also picked up an offer from Clemson this week. That'll be definitely be worth watching because Clemson and Georgia to me, it sounded like, in his own words, were the two best academic fits for him. And he didn't have an offer from Clemson until just yesterday. And that, with the movement of Malachi Starks onto the Georgia recruiting board and not on the top targets list, that moves Mikel Williams out of Hardaway in Columbus, Georgia, all the way up to the number 1 spot on our top targets list for this week. For me, I think those first 3 names are very close. They're going to be jockeying back and forth a lot, especially with how Georgia needs to put a premium on offensive players in this class. We'll save the other big names to know for next week. Some timelines to think about. Kamari Wilson is supposed to announce something tomorrow. I'm not sure he will announce his commitment tomorrow. I think what he'll do is he'll probably announce a commitment to something. If it's not to his school of choice, it will be to the All-American game of his choice. May the 7th, something to think about there for 3-star safety Emory Floyd. That one's up in the air. It may change for Emory. He told me that recently. Another name to put on this board for timelines is July 5th, 4-star wide receiver Kojo Antwi. That's one of those that is scheduled, but I think a lot of things could happen in June, especially when those visits start popping off. Quick thing to know, last week when we did our program, Georgia was the number 4 program in the country. Now they're number 2 nationally. They're up 2 spots. And I think the next commitment Georgia gets will allow them, provided Ohio State doesn't take any commitments. I don't think Ohio State's going to take any other commitments until the quiet period begins and visits open up. So Georgia, if they get a commitment anytime in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I think they have a chance to take over the nation's number 1 program for 2022. News to think about this week. I think Michael has a tweet of it. Brett Thorson. Everybody can come at you with those Thorson's hammer of a leg, of a punt. You can say good day, UGA. You can say Georgia went down under to pick up their next punter. Of course, Jake Camarda will likely go to the NFL after this season. That gives a need for Georgia in this class for a punter, a scholarship punter. And Georgia got a commitment today from a young man from Australia, Brett Thorson. You guys saw the story on DawgNation.com recently this afternoon when he made his commitment. You're seeing a big trend now of the Australian punters. LSU has had a few. Other big name programs have had a few. I think 5 or 6 out of the top 10 for the Ray Guy Award last year were punters of Australian descent. Georgia is now recruiting internationally. You think about the Thorson commitment, it gives Georgia its first international scholarship guy since going back to the Blitz from Biarritz in France. That's Richard Tarditz during the Vince Dooley era. He came from France. This is a young man all the way out in Australia. I think they're about 17 hours ahead of Athens time. And for me, I thought it was a landmark commitment. Not only is it a scholarship commitment, an international commitment, the first one for Kirby Smart, but for me, it's the first time we've ever heard a guy commit on a Thursday, and the commitment was known in Georgia and in our part of the world on a Wednesday. Like I said, they're 17 hours ahead of Australia right now. I think it's about 11 a.m., 12 a.m. in the morning, 12 noon in the afternoon there in Australia. I think he's from Melbourne, Australia. We're going to have a good chat with Brett Thorson up on our website very shortly the next coming days. And you guys will get to learn this very, very interesting story about Brett Thorson and how in the world in the age of COVID recruiting does an Australian punter wind up committed to the University of Georgia in the class of 2022. I think it'll be a fascinating conversation and a fascinating read. Guys, that's been a show. We had 2 6-packs today because we knew Jalon Walker would be so excellent and so good at what he does. I surely appreciate everybody making some time for Before the Hedges time on Wednesday night here on DawgNation. I'm Jeff Sintel. For everybody here at DawgNation, thanks for hanging out with us on another night, on another evening here on Facebook, YouTube, Facebook. Appreciate you. YouTube, I appreciate you. Remember to give us those likes. Remember to give us those shares because that's what the bosses like to see when we wrap these shows up in the morning. Thanks to everybody for joining us. We'll see everybody again on the pages of DawgNation.com. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great week, everybody. And God bless everybody out there after another edition of Before the Hedges.